Here again with my final Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 1 episode review video. Of course, I watched the episode early on the Amazon Prime AMC channel, but before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you aren't caught up to the point where I am and you're watching The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you find out that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And for those of you that don't know, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. I've reviewed every single episode of the main Walking Dead show on this channel. In fact, with about 20 seconds left to go in this video, I'll put my review of the series finale, titled Rest in Peace, right here. Again, with about 20 seconds left to go, I reviewed every single episode of The Walking Dead Dead City. Of course, I've reviewed every single episode of The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. And when The Ones Who Live come out, I will be covering that show as well. Now, I do watch all of Fear the Walking Dead. I just don't do reviews of it. I might have did one years ago for like a season 3 episode, but I just stopped. I can't remember if I did or not. I either did one or none, but I do watch all of Fear the Walking Dead, and I am caught up on it, and I will be watching the new episodes next week. I have not yet watched The Walking Dead World Beyond. I'm sure I will at some point. I know some things that happen in it, so if you want to talk The Walking Dead with me, definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram. I'll put the link at in the description. It's JDEV27, because I definitely want to talk about The Walking Dead with all you Walking Dead fanatics. But with that in mind, this will be The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 1, Episode 6, the season finale. The title of this episode is called Coming Home. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. Episode title that I can pronounce. Yay! We started off with the variant walker charging Daryl, which we left off in the last episode. And Daryl moves and the walker runs into the wall. Or maybe he got it in the legs. I couldn't quite tell with that first movement. He either moved out of the way or he got it in the legs. But the walker goes charging into the wall. And then it gets back up and charges Daryl again. And this time Daryl does hit it low in the legs. When it gets back up, Daryl uses the pointy end. I feel like I'm talking about Game of Thrones with sticking with the pointy end. But he uses the pointy end and stabs into the midsection and then pushes it up against like a pillar or some kind of thing and pushes the whole thing through. So the variant walker is still alive, kind of, but kind of stuck in a hard place, so to speak. Isabel is praying during all this, and Laurent's like watching this, like happy that Daryl is pretty much having an easy time with these variant walkers. But then the walker's actually able to slide off the weapon to charge at Daryl once again and tries to clothesline him, but Daryl at the last second moves out of the way, but the variant walker misses. And then Daryl grabs a flag and stabs it again in the midsection, and then when he stabs it, he flips it over and slams the variant walker, and then Daryl, of course, uses the pointy end of the flag to stab it in the head and kill this variant walker. And then Quinn is brought into the pit that Daryl's in, and they are chained together, and Daryl says he ain't going to die here, and Quinn says he looks dead already. The lights are turned off for a moment, and there's more walkers like strategically placed in this pit area. And the additional walkers are also shot with the serum or the dart that has the serum in it to make them more crazy walkers. And Falou and his people are now watching this, and Isabel does see Falou. Daryl tells Quinn to follow his lead, and Quinn says, "Sure thing, mate." So Quinn and Daryl have to be on the same page here, and they're definitely going to be. And then one variant walker tackles another variant walker, or I don't know if it was necessarily a tackle, but tackle, just knocked it down and actually ripped off the regular walker's jaw. Or was it I don't even remember what walker it was. Maybe it was just a regular walker that the variant walker took the jaw off. And then Daryl and Quinn are able to fend off more variant walkers and even beheading or decapitating one of the variant walkers. Now, the crowd, of course, cheers for Dixon, Daryl Dixon. He's a fan favorite now. And then Daryl throws the decapitated or beheaded head at Madame Janae, and she's pretty pissed. Falou shoots one of the guards, and the crowd panics, giving Daryl and company a moment to get away. And Daryl tells Quinn, "Come on, let's go." Madame Janae gives the order to find Daryl and kill him. Now, Daryl notices that Quinn has a bite mark on his back, but Quinn says it's just a burn. He says he's sure. Laurent thinks God may have abandoned him and Isabel. Quinn is tired and has to rest, so I'm thinking that might have been a bite. Maybe not, I don't know. But he says he can't go any further. So what happens is that Daryl actually cuts Quinn's hand off, or maybe it was more of his forearm off, to get freed from that chain. And then what happens is Daryl uses Quinn as like a diversion to escape, and he's like, "Just tell Isabel that I what I did." And so Quinn helps Daryl out to kind of sacrifice himself for the better good for Laurent and Isabel. And then Daryl runs into Falou, and Daryl goes back for Laurent and Isabel. And now Quinn is dead, and he has turned already, and he's after Isabel. And Laurent's just kind of like not sure what to do. And Daryl gives him the weapon and tells Laurent that God will forgive him. And Laurent, at the last second, kills the walker Quinn. Now, Falou and what's left is his crew. I can't remember the other people's names. Emile, or I can't remember what it is. But they depart. And then Daryl, Sylvie, Isabel, and Laurent leave in a Jeep or a truck and head, to they're going to the nest. And then Daryl tells Isabel that his grandfather died here, during the war. Daryl's doing some mechanical work on the vehicle, and as he's doing this, he's talking to Isabel, and then he asks her to hand him the big wrench. And then he comes out from under the vehicle looking for this, and he's clocked in the face by Cadron, and his clocked in the face with that big wrench. And then somebody says they all have to die today as Isabel gets stabbed in the shoulder area, and Laurent tells Cadron, "God loves you." And then Cadron actually shoots all the men that were with him and says, "Not today, Dixon. Next time." Now, I remember in one of the episode review videos that I did that I said that maybe, just maybe, Cadron and Daryl would be on the same page eventually. Maybe not right away, but eventually, and it looks like that may be the case here, or something's going on, or maybe he's just a firm believer in God or something like that. But he let them go, and he actually he finds the pocket watch. And now he figures out that they're going to the nest, and he tells them to burn the truck, as it's very easy to track. So they arrive at the nest, and people are very happy to see Laurent at the nest. And he tells them Isabel is hurt, and then Daryl talks to Losang, who's actually from Jersey. He moved to Paris in the 90s. He tells them that Madame Janae will be coming for them. Maybe not now, but eventually. And Isabel wakes up to see Daryl actually teaching people how to shoot. Kind of like Shane was doing in Season 2 of The Walking Dead. Daryl helps Isabel out with the wound that she has. Pretty impressive battle wound for a nun. Isabel says she likes it here. Losung says they have a vessel to get Daryl home. So he promised to bring Laurent to the nest, and they're gonna hold their end of the bargain, or hold their end of the promise, and get him home. And Losung hopes that he'll stay, even though Daryl has people waiting for him at home. Cadron tells Madame Janae that the boy escaped, but yet he doesn't have a scratch on him. And Madame Janae knows that he's lying, and she knows that he shot her men. Now, I'm not exactly sure how she knows that he shot the men, but she tells him that. Maybe she's got security cameras or something like that. So Madame Genet asks Cadron where the nest is, and he says he doesn't know where it is. Then Madame Genet has the guards rough up Cadron and then take him away. So again, I think him and Daryl are going to be on the same side. I don't know. Something led me to believe that. I didn't know any spoilers about the Daryl Dixon show. In fact, I barely watched any of the trailers or teasers. I watched like 20 seconds of one, and I just saw it coming. But who knows? Maybe things will change, and who knows? But that's where I think they're at right now. Bear with me here. I'm pretty tired. Like, I was actually dozing off just due to being tired while I was watching the episode for like a second or two. It wasn't like 5-10 minutes, but I was pretty tired. Anyway, we have Daryl was going to leave the nest without saying anything to Isabel and Laurent. And she tells him, "I'm glad that we met." There's a more longer conversation going on here. Like, she's like, "I think you really like you really care for Laurent, and that kind of scares you," thing. And so Daryl, he goes to see Laurent, but Laurent is sleeping, and he leaves the Rubik's Cube with Laurent. And then Daryl does indeed leave the nest. Daryl finds a graveyard of American soldiers, and Daryl is actually able to find his grandfather's grave, who died in 1944. And Daryl starts to get slightly emotional. And then Daryl sees the vessel, so he's like, "Hey, hey, hey!" And in doing that, woke up a bunch of walkers, just regular walkers, not variants, as they come at Daryl. There's a bunch of them there too, and Daryl's just fighting them off and, killing them one by one. But there's a lot of them there. And then Daryl's like, sees the vessel, and he's waiting for that. And then it turns out that Laurent had actually followed Daryl to go see this vessel. So Daryl's like, "Well, shit, I guess I got to take the boy with me." And then after all that, we see a man on a bike, and somebody is following this man on a bike in a car. So the man gets further ahead and then turns around and uses his gun to shoot out the engine of this vehicle. And then he tells the person to get out. He wants to see their hands. It's Carol. She doesn't want any trouble. And she says that this bike belongs to my friend Dixon, Daryl Dixon. And he's never heard of no Dixon, the man says. So she's come a long way trying to track Daryl, to find Daryl. So she's actually able to clock the man that's on the bike. And he kind of falls into the trunk of the car. And she asks where he got the bike from again. And he says a gas station a few miles back. "If you're lying, I won't be back." And Carol slams the trunk shut, and then Carol drives off on Daryl's bike, as Carol has now made it to Freeport, Maine. And that's what ends the season and the episode. So, good stuff. I expected a little bit more chaos, and we started with the chaos, but then it was kind of a slow developing thing at the nest, where not a lot. I mean, stuff happened, but like it was like, what do I want to talk about here? I did like the character of I haven't remembered it. I don't want to say his name as correctly as I can. Lo Sung. I liked that guy's character, even though we only got like 3 minutes from the guy. I think he's going to be a pivotal part in season 2 of The Walking Dead. Daryl Dixon. I'm surprised that Isabel lived, because I thought for sure she was going to die if Carol was going to come on the show and be the female lead of the show. So, but she's still alive. We lost Quinn. I kind of expected that to happen, although I thought maybe he would survive. And we still have Madame Genet, and we still have Cadron out there. Like I said, I think Cadron eventually, maybe not right away, will be on the same side as Daryl, and we still have Falou and Emile and the other chick that was with them as well. And Sylvie's still alive too. So yeah, I'm going to score the episode an 8.5 out of 10. It's good. I just feel like as a finale, it didn't do as much as I thought it was going to do. As my eyes are starting to shut here, I apologize. So, and then my character of the episode, because of his big moment in the episode, I'm going to give it to Cadron. I think he was very important, because they were fucked if he didn't do what he did and shoot all those guards and let them go when Laurent said that God forgives you or whatever. I don't know if that's what changed his tune or whatever, but maybe he just didn't want to kill an innocent kid. That might have been what it is too. And he kind of said that to Madame Janae. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10. Cadron is going to be the character of the episode. And you could argue, obviously, Daryl's the character of every episode of this show. But just for this one, try to wake up a little bit here. I'm going to give it to Cadron. And, special honorable recognition to Quinn. So you've heard everything I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, The Walking Dead universe, The Walking Dead Dead City, The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, or eventually you'll become a fan of The Walking Dead The Ones Who Live, the Rick and Michonne spinoff show, and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, make sure you Hulk smash the like button, share the video with anybody you know, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this season finale of The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. What would you rate the episode? Who besides Daryl would be your character of the episode? Of course, maybe some people will give it to Carol, even though she's just a scene at the end. I don't know. Madame Janae was good too. I don't know. I just gave it to Cadron because of the whole scene with him taking out all the men. And remember to click right here to see my Walking Dead series finale review video. It's a pretty good one. Of course, I'll put links to other Walking Dead rankings and all that. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.